You read that it failed. Ignore my glitter packaging. I come packing crafting.
Hello, my wicked vipers, and thank you so much for joining me here on SewStitchHex. I'm Academia, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Bunny Drop, Volume 1. So, this is by Yumi Unita, and it is a teens rated. Some of the artwork. The artwork is very different than what I'm used to. It is an older book, and I got into it because it was listed as a slice of life, kind of relaxing type. I don't remember the exact terminology, but it was supposed to be a calming, relaxing kind of thing. And then I read about the controversy. in the ending of the anime and the manga. So I have the anime. I haven't had time to watch it because, of course, it's only subbed, which means I can't multitask. And I've only got Volume 1. I have not been able to procure Volume 2 yet, which is probably for the best because I'm not looking forward to the very ending of the series, but spoilers for later. So on the back, it says, going home for his grandfather's funeral, 30-year-old bachelor Daikichi is floored to discover that the old man had an illegitimate child with a younger lover. The rest of his family is equally shocked and also embarrassed by this surprise development, and not one of them wants anything to do with the silent little girl. She's like almost mute, basically. Wants anything to do with the silent little girl, Ren. Which I love that name. I want a child named Ren. I swear to God. It's so good. I don't know what it is. It's just perfect. In a fit of angry spontaneity, Daikichi decides to take her in himself. But will living with this overgrown teenager of a man help Ren come out of her shell and hang on? Won't this turn of events spell doom for Daikichi's love life? Don't you think this world is better than you expected? So, which it has this beautiful first color page. Very nice, kind of watercolor-esque. Similar to how she's colored here. Very watercolor. And it's a really cute book, I will say, for the start. So you have this sweet little girl who seems drawn very mature. I don't know if it's because I don't know like how children are drawn in manga or what it is, but something there. But you see what I mean about the art style. Like, it's definitely different than what I'm typically showing. So he shows up at the funeral, and he's the only one to consider this little girl. She's mute, basically, and she ends up going and picking some flowers and kind of putting them in the, like, space with the grandfather who passed away. And all the kids are like, oh, what the heck? Like, that's gross. Like, stop. Leave him alone. Like, what are you doing? And Daikichi is like, calm down. Like, none of y'all have even taken a second to, like, see how she's doing, see how she's feeling. Like, this is a small child who just lost someone she cared about and who cared for her, and she doesn't even speak. Like, and they're talking about like something's wrong with her. They don't want to have to deal with this. This is a burden they don't want. Like, you're all happy to talk about how sad the child is, but you don't want to help her, or you want to talk about all the problems she has, but not anything you can fix. Like, come on, just shut up and buck up. Like, do something. And he does. He stands up and he does something. He's like, obviously, like, these are my grandfather's favorite flowers. Clearly, she knows that. So, she's trying. This is her way of grieving. And everyone has their own way of grieving. And I like the way he's very understanding. Like, even though I know how this series is supposed to turn out, it makes me mad. Because I know that this is a really good example. Like, him being a really good father figure for her. And being very caring and actually showing love to her that I'm not sure she would have gotten from any of the other family members, because they all sounded like trash. And he even bitched him out about it. And then the mom, who was like, his mom, was like, I'm not going to help. Why would I help you? Like, or not help you, but help her. Like, and then when she gets the kid, she's all about it. She just loves it. It's like she has her own little, like, granddaughter now, almost. And she had to skip the waiting for him to find a wife, get married, get her pregnant and have a baby, and then her grow up to have fun. No, boop, skip the step. So that works out. And you just kind of get to see Dakichi, I'm not sure I'm saying his name right, stress over this little girl. This whole book volume is just him stressing out, learning to be a parent in like 24 hours, essentially. Because he has to find a daycare, and all the daycare is near him. They have specific hours that he can either get up super early to take her to this daycare and then be super tired going to work. But he can't leave work early, so he'd have to have a daycare that stays late. But the ones that stay late don't necessarily open later, or open till later. And then there's one that's like a 24-hour facility or whatever, but you can only be enrolled there for a certain amount of days. So he's having to find a daycare that works with his work. He's having to cut back on hours when he's such a very prominent figure in his workplace. He is a very good worker. He's very helpful. He's very innovative. He pushes the boundaries. And yes, it is a team effort, and he acknowledges I'm nothing special, which shows he's humble. But it is kind of sad that he has to cut back on that part of his career. And it is very admirable that he would be willing to cut back on his career and not feel emasculated or feel lessened or feel threatened by the presence of this little girl who is encroaching on his life, when he made the decision to take her in. He made the decision to make her his responsibility. And he's taking that responsibility seriously. And so he starts off as such a great character here, showing how he really cares about this little girl. He takes her shopping for clothes, and he really doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't know she didn't have any clothes or anything, really. There was just nothing at that house. And so it's like no one knows what to do. He has to take her shopping, and he's embarrassed about the whole aspect of buying her shoes and socks, and about how, yeah, buy multiple, because I'm not doing laundry very often, because he's a man, so he's doing bachelor man, hood rat shit, where it's a mess. I'm living that bachelor man, hood rat shit life right now. I'm doing my laundry. It's just putting away the laundry is the real fight. But, so we get to see him working on trying to get her settled, get her clothes, get her proper food, get her proper bedding. She sweats, or he thought she was using the bathroom on herself in her sleep, which bedwetting can be a sign of these big changes for this little girl. Stress. She is a small child. She just lost someone she cares about. That would be an understandable reaction. It can happen at her age. However, it was actually just them sweating so much, and he made her embarrassed, but she tried not to think about it. I really want to believe that it was more so his sweat and less her peeing the bed. But even if she did, there's no shame there. And he tried to not let her feel ashamed. He was like, you're a little old for that. But she's under a lot of stress. It's realistic. It's natural. It happens. And the way he can approach this with such patience and such care is very remarkable for someone who's not been a parent. It gives me a lot of Big Daddy vibes. But the difference is Big Daddy did lose his absolute shit a couple times. But he did have to learn that, you know, this is the Adam Sandler movie. You know, he did have to learn to not yell because the kid's going to think it's he's yelling at him. This guy just has his cool under control. And it just blew my mind because I don't have that kind of patience. I have to, like, take a minute. I'm not very good. I'm not good at that. However, he takes it a step further, and he's trying to investigate who the mother is because they have no idea who the mother is, how to find her, or what. And they keep hitting all these dead ends. But he wants to be able to find her because he's worried that if he gives it too much time and the girl does want to know about her mother, that they'll have lost all of the, like, the tracks that they could follow to find her. Or it'll have been too late and the mother will have, you know, they would have lost all ability to contact her. Maybe she gets sick or, you know, moves away out of the country and they can't find her. And so he's doing this extra work so he can try and find the mother, so he can have that in case the little girl does want to see her mother and does want to have that connection and that relationship. And so he's thinking not just in the now and the early, like, days, like thinking of daycare, thinking of schools, thinking of her clothes, her food, her habits, things about keeping her occupied in the home, keeping her happy. He's thinking of helping her reconnect with her family when she's older. It's such a a huge responsibility and such a big task, and he's actually taking it under his wing. And so it makes him look in this first volume as like a really remarkable guy. He looks like a really good dad. And it's just really cute right now. I'm really enjoying this. So at least the first part is making me very happy. If you want to know what makes it terrible in the very end, you can Google that controversy all on your own. I'm not going to talk about it until it comes up. But yeah, so all in all, this book, which is an older one, I believe this first Yen Press edition was in 2010, and Bunny Drop Volume 1 was in 2006. So this edition was in 2010, but it originally came out in 2006. Yeah, it's actually really good. It's a very dense volume, as you can see. There's a lot going on, but it only feels as fast-paced as the situation would feel. It doesn't feel abnormally fast or abnormally slow. I did find it a relaxing read and very complex with the situations going on. And the character, even though he's supposed to be characterized as this, like, teenage man-child living how he is, he actually has a lot of common sense and a lot of, like, forethought for taking care of the child on this spontaneous decision. He's actually a really good, like, caretaker. And so, I don't know. I just found this to be a really good, volume showing how much there goes into just taking on a child. It's not even his responsibility, but he takes it on himself. And I found it to be a really, really good, like, a really good book. And yeah, I would recommend this first volume, but of course, if you want to know about the controversy, please look it up first, because once I get there, I'm probably going to lose my freaking mind. Alright, thank you so much for watching me ramble about this book. I've been wanting to do a review of it for a hot minute. And if you like this review and discussion, please leave a like down below. Please leave a comment if you know what the controversy is. Don't spoil it for anybody, but you know. If you know, you know. If you like this series, tell me why. If you hate it, tell me why. If it's obvious, that's fine too. And if you've never read it, tell me if it seems interesting or if you think that these issues covered seem pretty good, if you would find this relaxing or not. And don't forget to subscribe. That is the most important part, you guys. Alright, thank you so much. I will see you next time. Have a wicked evening. Bye. You're never too young for a Vietnam flashback.